Bill Hemmer has been on the air for almost 3 decades of giving America its best important news stories. The Fox News anchor covered 911 from Ground Zero, reported from areas of fighting in Afghanistan, Iraq, and anchored coverage of every's most important political event since Florida count again. His face has become a symbol with news that is breaking. His voice was at a presence during a national emergency. Still, one anecdote stands out not on the public record, his own. A themer is 60 years old and has never been married. His relationship with supermodel lasted 8 years. Dara Tomanovich's life came to an end suddenly in 2013. Then nothing on the radio for a long time in his love life. The rumor mill has worked overtime, connecting him to almost all of the women that work at Fox News. On encounter with a doctor in 2019 compelled him to deal with the picture thoughts regarding his sexual orientation. But these explanations, on the surface, overlook the bigger picture of what happens when someone gives their whole being. A professional requires everything. The actual cause Hemmer stays single shows something that most people seldom think about: how much it costs. Success was lived out in the open. Bill Hemmer's journey to become one of the most trusted news anchors in the U.S. started in Cincinnati, Ohio, where early interest in radio began in high school. He was the host of a radio show run by students that permitted him talk to other people in the community and your peers, learning how to talk to people and timing that would be quite important during his whole career. These weren't unplanned free time. Even as an adolescent, Hemmer went about broadcasting with intensity that made it seem like this was more than just young curiosity. By the time Hugh and Hemmer got to Miami University, he entirely dedicated to journalism. He studied journalism for TV and radio, became really into studying media, laying the groundwork for what would become a job that is always beautification. He didn't spend any time when he graduated getting into TV and getting his first important part at WACPO TV in Cincinnati, where they cover sports. They're all needed quick thinking and accuracy, traits Hemmer already possess. Ground. His coworkers saw something different about him, a need to be where news was happening. A lack of to be okay with doing desk work when stories were happening in other places. That drive got the attention of Bindworks. In the year 1995, CNN gave Hemmer a chance that changed him from a regional anchor to a national figure. His 10 years at CNN put him at the center of important situations in the last part of the 20th century and the first part of the 21st century past. The election for president in 2000 made his name even more solid, especially his coverage of the ground during the disputed Florida recount. Led the Chad lad for his thorough reporting on problems with the ballots. Hemmer showed that he could handle situations with high stakes without putting accuracy at risk. But more than that, he proved he was ready to spend weeks away from home, sleeping at hotels, eating meals between live shots, all to stay where the story was unfolding. His dedication went beyond his own home coverage. Hemmer, after September 11th, reported from Afghanistan, including stories that needed to be changed to fit risky situations and getting around difficult situations between countries. The certain jobs that journalists took for advancing in your career. They were missions that required giving up something, taking a risk, spending a long time apart from any hint of normal life. In 2005, Hemmer took the biggest risk in his career by joining news from Fox. He became a co-anchor of America's Newsroom, which finally led to a cooperation with Donna Parino that would give the program a name. Their on-screen chemistry and a good working relationship made the show one of Fox News' early news shows that people trust the most. People who watch not only for breaking news, but also for Hemmer's straightforward and calm reporting style. His capacity to stay constant while dealing with news cycles that change quickly made his place as one of the main anchors of the network. For almost Twomer made a career over decades at Fox as a reporter who puts truth above show. His strong work ethic gained the respect and loyalty of millions of people who came to trust him as a trustworthy source through adhutments when things are not clear. But that trust mething outsiders didn't understand. The same determination that made him great at his work made a life at construction that didn't leave much room for anything or anyone else. Even though Bill Hemmer has had a very public career, yet kept privacy that was exceedingly stringent in his life outside of work. He doesn't often gives us a look into relationships on setting up social media or interviews it himself distinct from other actors on to often talk about important events in their lives with people. This freedom has led to countless people guessing about his love life and personal decisions. His most important recognized relationship was with model Dara Tomanovich from Canada. Wikran from 2005 to 2013.it is said that the two met in Paris, where Tomanovich has made a name for herself as one of the most famous faces in Fashion Faces. Karl found it when he was 18. Lagerfeld went to France for a trip, money. She became clothes face and spent 5 years making an excellent collection of work. She worked with L'Oreal, was in British Vogue and Marie Claire, and wandered in circles far not serious journalism like Hemmer's world. Their relationship made and added a touch of glitter to Hemmer's otherwise low-key life during the 8 years they were together. Hemmer and Tomanovich went to different however they always stayed away from events, from talking about their in-public relationship. This low-key way of doing things let them have their privacy, which was strange for a couple with a lot of fame. Friends oft couple talked about how they worked together on of opposites. Her fashion world concerts and photo shoots, his world of news and politics that are breaking, but they made it work for 8 years. Fascinates ceased in 2013. No remarks to the public, no reasons given, no carefully chosen words press releases concerning breaking up or staying pals. Nothing but quiet. The friendship that had shaped Hemmer's personal life just vanished from look. Not long after they broke up, Tomanovich was taken into custody for driving under the influence. The event made the media curious with adults looking into her social life and links, such as her past with Hemmer. For people who are very private after his relationship ended dissected in gossip columns must have a strength and every gut feeling he had about hiding intimate things. What put an end to an 8-year relationship? Those close to the situation suggested these demands of their jobs made things impossible. His schedule requires a lot of travel, days of coverage for the hurricane meant in Florida. Political conventions meant weeks on the road. Stories from across the world meant leaving the nation with not McNaughtus. Tomanovich's career as a model, while mostly staying in one place, came with its own tough schedule, but many who worked with Fox saw some thingather. Around the time they broke up, Hemmer had taken on more responsibility at the network, promised to be there for big shocking news meant his life outside of work worked on a schedule that modified by the hour. For Hemmer, this connection signified the end of any public admitted to being romantically involved. After he went even further into hiding in 2013, privacy, never confirming a friendship or being seen in public with a partner in love. His unwillingness to sharing personal information became a defining part of his public image. Aligning with his job as a journalist wappets the story first over promoting oneself, but his quiet left a hole that speculation hurried to fill. The secrecy about Hemmer's private life has made a lot of people think his work for a public that is successful and well-respected. His decision to stay single has made fans and others wonder. People who follow him are curious about his dedication to journalism, explains his degree status. But more than that, the whole lack of verified connections following Tomanovich made it possible for it spread rumors about almost every woman he appeared next to. Sandra Smith, who used to be his co-anchor on America's Newsroom, became the subject of dating rumors that won't go away, mostly because of their outstanding on-air chemistry. The conjecture got really strong enough that stores had to say that Smith is married to John Connolly, a marketing expert with whom she has kids. The gossip gave no reason to believe other than their work relationship, but they kept going. Then there was Megyn Kelly. When they both worked for Fox News, their amicable conversations on the radio made a lot of people wonder about a romantic relationship. Kelly and Hemmer talked about these rumors in different interviews, where each said they were just terrific friends and co-workers. Kelly stressed that their relationship came from mutual professional respect. Hemmer agreed with this, but their denials didn't do anything to stop Thegus' work. It looked like the media and the public not able to accept that two successful TV stars who are good-looking may simply be pals. His partnership with Dana Perino has generated perhaps the longest-lasting guesses. As co-anchors of America's News Desk, they spend hours together every day, writing short notes and chemistry that makes things interesting. They talked to one another easily and made fun of each other. Regard and clearly being at ease with each other. Others have led millions of others to wonder if there is something romantic in the background. Perino, who is married, has never talked about these directly addressed rumors. Hemmer hasn't either. It Looks like they are ignoring the completely letting their work speak for themselves be act for itself. In February 2019, someone took a picture of Hemmer seated next to Mara, Fashion Week in New York City. Maples, the actress and TV star famous for being married to Donald Trump from 1993 to 1999, was sitting in a way that made it look like they were all at the same event. The pictures made people want to date right away. Gossip. News organizations looked at the way they sit, their body language, and the fact that they were at the same big event. But like every other, nothing further has been said about the purported romance. Came into being. No confirmation, no follow-up sightings, no connection. Just another round of guessing that went nowhere. Then there was the event that Hemmer make an unusual statement on his personal life in public, comment about his life outside of work. A picture of someone without a shirt on started going around online with accusations that it showed Hemmer. These pictures started conversations and people guessing about his sexual orientation. The photo was finally proven to be false as a modified version of an image that was first displaying Tiger Woods, but the harm had already been done. The event Madded talks about Hemmer's sexual orientation. Some people think he doesn't have a lot of public relationships, made it seem like he could be gay. A news outlet ran a story that said that Hemmer was straight after he told the police about the doctored photo inside the police. Hemmer did anything unusual, a comment over the air that referred to a girlfriend, it seems, to put rumors tourist, but he didn't give any details, no name, no proof of a relationship that is still going on relationship. It looked like it was less about talking about his personal life and more about finding out the truth to stop harmful guessing. The pattern in all of these rumors is saying every supposed connection has been with a coworker or someone he was around as he was taking pictures at a public event. There has never been proof of dating, romantic dinners, or the usual signs of a relationship. The rumor mill works on closeness and chemistry. Filling the gap left by Hemmer's silence led to speculation that shows more about what people are interested in than about what really happened in Hemmer's life. Hemmer hinted just how hard his job was in earlier interviews, implying that the schedule of a person who is unpredictable and besides news anchor doesn't allow much room for relationships. The long hours, continual travel, and the emotional cost of reporting high-stakes events are what make a journalist's life quite hard in a unique way. He's dedicated to his job seems to be a driving force in the choices he makes for himself. The news industry needs an unusual level of commitment, especially for someone in Hemmer's point of view. His readiness to go on trips for big stories, no matter covering the war in Iraq, writing about storms, or anchoring politics convention coverage, which is one of his dedication to being where news happens. This dedication, frequently at the cost of personal time, which means Hemmer may have made a deliberate choice to concentrate on his job instead of his family life. Think about what a normal week looks like for a breaking news anchor at Hemmer's level. Anchors for morning shows usually get up before daybreak and get to studio hours before the show to go over the news, get ready for interviews, and work with producers. But that's merely the starting point. When big news breaks happen, those timetables become crazy. Real disasters mean going to disaster zones for days or weeks at a time. Politics going to events means going to convention sites or main states. Around the world in times of crisis, you have to be on call all the time, ready to anchor special coverage around any time. Hemmer has always volunteered for these hard tasks. When hurricanes get close, he's one of the first to go. When elections need coverage on the ground, he's there. This way of putting things first, being there for big news events, has characterized his career, but it's naturally not compatible with keeping stable relationships between people. How does a person make a life with a partner who might leave for a week with 12 hours notice? How do they make plans, dinners, vacations, or other important personal times when breaking news happens comes first? For a lot of people who watch, Hemmer's decision to stay single shows how committed he is to his job that not everyone could keep going. When routine and consistency are important, Hemmer's focus on journalism is unique, become a defining trait of his character. His being a bachelor seems to be a side effect off of this promise for life. But there's another thing to think about. The newsroom is more than just a place to work, not simply a job. It's like a second home to me, a source of happiness. His professional TIs, especially at Fox News, have become important parts of his life. His longtime co-anchor working with Dana Parino is more than just a job relationship. It's a connection of trust and respect that took years to build, shared problems and accomplishments. In a fast-paced, high-stakes business, these work ties often take the place of the links individuals solely look for in their personal lives. Hemer posts a lot on social media. Pictures with female coworkers, however, these pictures are always clear and courteous, professional. Fans sometimes on prospective love affairs. Hemer always keeps boundaries between his work and personal lives, never giving any hints of romance life, never hinting at romancier relationships that aren't work-related. This strategy lets him preserve his public in keeping their personal and professional life apart, which strengthens the idea that the newsroom is alike a family. For Hemer, these connections offer companionship and satisfaction without the obligations and concessions that could come with marriage. He may have decided to stay single, show that he is happy with his profession, where he has created a network of people that help him network that lets him focus on his love of journalism. Hemer was more than just a journalist, is known for his passion to helping others and his community. Work and help his community. He comes back to Cincinnati every year to host the George Nettle Memorial. Bailey put up the golf classic in his honor. Grandfather. This event helps Bailey generate money, senior living, showing Hemer's strong dedication to family and roots. His link to his community, especially through this yearly event, shows that someone cares about service and family relationships. Even if they don't show up through the usual way families are set up, Hemer has been a staunch supporter of veterans, giving their time to issues that pay tribute to those who have served. His job with veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan of America shows how much he values his military service and desire to make a real difference outside of the newsroom. These charitable efforts stress a dedication to public service that goes beyond work, service that goes beyond work responsibilities. Some people think that Hemer's being single has let him focus on important things that matter to him without possible problems with mixing family life with charitable work and work life with charitable and professional decent. His being single lets him to put his efforts and resources into their efforts, putting a higher priority on a wider notion of giving over self-attachments. Bill Hemer's decision to stay single implies a coming together of careers demands, personal values, and desire for privacy. People are quite particular about how he looks in public, made to put his work first and protect his privacy so that he can focus on journalism without becoming side-attracted that typically come with a high-profile life at home. Hemer's commitment to giving news with honesty and his calmness has earned him a loyal following, and his choice to live alone makes him even more determined to allow his let your work speak for itself. The crossing off work, privacy, and personal coexist, a fragile equilibrium that Hemer has handled with elegance and consistency through his whole career. His bachelor's degree status seems to be less about what he doesn't have read, more about the decisions he's taken to keep a life devoted to honesty in journalism and public service. What comes to light when we look at Hemer? His life is a picture of Somi Anuho has purposefully built existence around a single desire. Some people could see his unmarried status as a sacrifice or a missed opportunity, status as a sacrifice or a miscedgence. It might be more correct show that principles and way of life. Hemer has never said in public said he was sorry about his own decisions or hinted that he thinks his life isn't finished. His work-life relationships give people a way to connect with each other and emotional help. His charitable work labor channels nurturing energy that others might point toward relatives. His dedication to journalism gives him meaning and satisfaction. These parts come together to make a life that works for him even if it doesn't fit with conventional norms. Being true to yourself takes guts when society expects certain things to happen. Marriage, kids, and traditional family structure is so ingrained in stories about culture that picking differently typically invites judgment or guesswork. Hemer has been the subject of rumors for decades, questions that invade privacy and assumptions in his life outside of work. But he's kept his boundaries and said no to conduct personal life for the public use. His lack of comment on the subject it shows itself. In a time of overexposing where famous people write down everything that happens in their lives on Hemer's seclusion feels like social media extreme. He doesn't have to explain himself about his choices and why he won't showing them shows belief in his way. The essential question isn't why Bill Hemer is not married. It's we people keep thinking that a very own should want the same things, follow the same schedule, and set satisfaction in the same ways. Hemmer's assumptions are challenged by life. Hisn't having a doesn't make success less likely partner. His effect isn't decreased by it having kids. His legacy is built on 3 decades of reliable news reporting, service to the community, and work excellence exists apart of conventional family setups. For people who have seen Hemmer anchor coverage of national disasters, political upheavals, and historic occasions, his private life has always been less important than his work presence. That's how it's supposed to be. Hemmer media job as the individual brings news, not who becomes it. Hish can stay private if he wants to, keep that difference and stay focused where he thinks it should be. On That Tales, he tells instead of his own story. Whether you choose to or not, Hemmer has made a natural evolution, life in which work success, personal satisfaction, and service to the public cross. It's not a secret that he's not married, asking for a solution, or a problem asking for an explanation. It's just one part of a well-planned life that puts first service, journalism, and privacy above a normal expectations. In a world that can't get enough of knowing everything about famous people, Hemmer's reserve is proof of the idea that not all questions need to be answered. Some lives don't need to be explained.